Analyze in a story that would prove once again that a person's value is not measured by titles or status, but by what they can do when it really counts. If you're ready for this story that will make you rethink what true competence means, write in the comments where you are watching this video. Valentina Schmidt was not born with privileges. Father, factory worker. Mother, supermarket saleswoman. Normal family in the Berlin suburbs. 70-mess apartment, 4 people. But Valentina always had big dreams. She studied computer science at the Technical University of Munich. Worked during the day, studied at night. Graduated with honors, first job, large software company. Good salary, but not enough. Wanted more. Wanted to build something of her own. Left a secure job at 27. Started a startup in her parents' garage. TechVision business management software. Innovative, intuitive, different. The first 2 years were hell. No customers, no income. Savings depleted, parents worried, friends skeptical. But Valentina didn't give up. Kept going. Improved the product. Knocked on doors, presented demos, rejected 100 times. Then first customer, small production company, $5,000 contract, cried with happiness. This customer remained satisfied, recommended others. Word of mouth worked. 15 years later, TechVision was worth $150 million. 200 employees, offices in Berlin, Munich and Hamburg. Contracts with Siemens, BMW, Deutsche Bank. Valentina Schmidt was not born with privileges. Father, factory worker. Mother, supermarket saleswoman. Normal family in the Berlin suburbs. 70-mess apartment, 4 people. But Valentina always had big dreams. She studied computer science at the Technical University of Munich. Worked during the day, studied at night, graduated with honors, first job, large software company, good salary but not enough. Wanted more, wanted to build something of her own. Left a secure job at 27, started a startup in her parents' garage. TechVision business management software, innovative, intuitive, different. The first 2 years were hell. No customers, no income. Savings depleted, parents worried, friends skeptical. But Valentina didn't give up, kept going. Improved the product. Knocked on doors, presented demos, rejected 100 times. Then first customer, small production company. $5,000 contract, cried with happiness. This customer remained satisfied, recommended others. Word of mouth worked. 15 years later, TechVision was worth $150 million, 200 employees. Offices in Berlin, Munich and Hamburg. Contracts with Siemens, BMW, Deutsche Bank. Valentina was the undisputed queen of German tech. A cover story for Forbes. A sought-after speaker at Davos. Her title, CEO, was synonymous with ruthless efficiency and visionary status. She lived in a glass-walled penthouse overlooking the Spree. Her calendar managed down to the minute by 3 assistants. She believed in the ecosystem she had built. A perfect machine where everyone knew their place. Their title, their function. Then on a crisp Tuesday in October, the machine failed. It was a system-wide crash, unprecedented and catastrophic. Every client running TechVision's flagship platform, from automotive assembly lines to international trading floors, went dark. Panicked calls flooded the headquarters. The board demanded answers. The media smelled blood. Valentina, in the middle of a live CNBC interview, saw the notification flash on her monitor. Her face remained a mask of calm. A minor technical update, she assured the interviewer, cutting the segment short. Inside she was ice. She stormed into the open-plan crisis room, where her entire tier of VPs and senior architects were already shouting. "I need a root cause analysis in 10 minutes, she commanded, her voice slicing through the chaos. But 10 minutes turned to 30, then an hour. The answers were incoherent, conflicting theories about server loads, database corruption, possible cyber attacks. The chief technology officer, a man with a PhD from MIT and a reputation built on complex jargon, could only stutter about unprecedented synergies of failure modes. The head of infrastructure, formerly of Google, was paralyzed, staring at dashboards blooming with red error alerts. Titles meant nothing. Status was a ghost. The company was hemorrhaging millions by the minute, and the brilliant minds she paid fortunes to were utterly useless. In that maelstrom of terror, Valentina noticed a curious stillness in one corner. Leon Brandt, a man in his late 50s, was typing steadily on a laptop, his face lit by the screen. Leon was not a VP, he wasn't even a manager. His official title was Legacy Systems Support Analyst, a euphemism for the guy who handled the old code no one else understood. A relic from the company's early days. He was portly, perpetually dressed in a worn-out sweater, ignored in meetings and relegated to a desk by the server room. He was a figure of quiet pity, a man without status. Valentina, driven by a desperate instinct, walked over. "Leon, what do you see?" He didn't look up, his fingers never pausing. "It's not an attack, Frau Schmidt, and it's not the new cloud cluster. It's the heart. The core transaction scheduler from version 1.2, a VP scoffed. "That's impossible. That module hasn't been active in years. It was fully migrated." Leon finally glanced up, his eyes weary but sharp. "You migrated the functions, Herr Vogel, but you left the heartbeat. A single line of code, a timing pulse buried in the kernel. It was a workaround I wrote in your parents' garage, Valentina, because we couldn't afford the proper scheduler license. It was never meant to run this scale. Today, a specific sequence of high-frequency trades from the Deutsche Bank integration created a recursive loop. It's not crashing. It's asleep. And it's dreaming the same bad dream over and over, freezing everything in its path." The room fell silent. The CTO sneered. "A poetic diagnosis. What's the solution? Reboot the entire global infrastructure?" "No," Leon said softly. "That would corrupt every transaction in the buffer. You need to sing it a lullaby." Before anyone could laugh, he turned his screen. It showed a command line interface, lines of elegant archaic code scrolling. "I need to write a gentle interrupt, a counter pulse to coax it awake, and then gently replace the heartbeat with a proper, modern one, without triggering a fatal arrhythmia." Valentina saw it then. Not the sweater, not the title, but the hands that had built the very foundation they were all standing on. The hands that understood the soul of the machine, not just its polished exterior. "Do it," she said, her voice loud and clear in the silent room. All authority, all her CEO status, was now vested in this one man with no title. "Everyone else shut up and get him whatever he needs." Coffee bandwidth silence. For 43 agonizing minutes, Leon worked. The VPs stood uselessly, watching as this forgotten man performed a kind of digital heart surgery. Valentina watched. His concentration, the profound competence that came not from a desire for glory, but from a deep, abiding understanding of the craft itself. He typed the final command with a gentle tap of the enter key, like a pianist ending a sonata. Across the global network, one by one, the red alerts turned green. The silent systems hummed back to life. The crisis room erupted in shaky cheers, but Leon just leaned back exhausted. The CTO approached, humility forced upon him. "Leon, that was... How did you even know where to look?" Leon shrugged. "I built it. I never forgot it, and you never asked." Valentina dismissed the room. When they were alone, she looked at Leon. "I promoted the wrong people. I valued the wrong things." Leon smiled. "You built a great company, Valentina. But even great companies have a soul. Sometimes it's hidden in the old quiet places." The next day, Valentina called an all-hands meeting. She stood before her 200 employees and told the unvarnished truth. She spoke of the failure, the panic, and the man in the corner who had saved them all. She announced that Leon Brandt was now the chief systems philosopher, a new role with a direct mandate to oversee architectural integrity and mentor young engineers in first principles. More importantly, she dismantled the rigid hierarchy on the spot. Project teams would be led by those with the deepest understanding, not the fanciest titles. Bonuses would be tied to collaborative problem-solving, not individual glory. The penthouse and the Davos speeches, she realized, were just scenery. True value was measured in the silent, crucial moment when everything was falling apart. And the only person who could hold it together was the one who remembered its true name. She had spent a lifetime building a monument to status, only to have it saved by a man whose value was written not on a business card, but in the forgotten code that kept the heart beating. The story of Valentina Schmidt is not just about building an empire. It is about the moment the empire trembles, and you learn that crowns are heavy, but competent hands are priceless. It proves once and for all that a person's value is not measured by titles or status, but by what they can do when it really counts. If this story made you rethink what true competence means, write in the comments where you are watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, Kindness True Stories, for more powerful narratives that reveal the deeper truths about human value. A new video is coming soon. The real twist, however, came not in the boardroom, but a week later. Leon declined the new title in office. "Titles are cages," he told Valentina. Instead, he requested a single, unusual thing: to lead a Forgotten Code initiative. Not as a manager, but as a teacher. He gathered a small, voluntary group of junior developers, not the stars, but the curious and the overlooked. In a modest meeting room, he began unraveling the soul of tech vision, line by ancient line. Meanwhile, Valentina, humbled, started spending her Fridays not in strategy meetings, but in the developer trenches, listening. She discovered a 24-year-old intern from her Hamburg office who had independently identified the upcoming scalability issue in the new Berlin server farm, a report buried by 3 layers of management. She found a quiet data architect in Munich who had a revolutionary, simple idea for data compression that the VP of Innovation had dismissed as too obvious. Valentina realized the crash wasn't a one-time failure of technology, but a chronic failure of her system, a system that filtered out the quiet, practical genius in favor of polished presentations and hierarchical approval. The true rebuilding of TechVision began not with a new org chart, but with the dismantling of the very idea that value flows from the top down. The person who saves the company, she understood, isn't always the one who can fix a single catastrophic bug, but the one who creates a culture where the next Leon or the next insightful intern is never silenced or overlooked in the first place. The ultimate measure of value became the ability to listen, especially to those the system had taught you to ignore.